This is one of the things that I'm known for because I use the process that I call 139. It actually mirrors to some extent the 60-second pitch, but takes it a step further and really takes that 9 or 10 picture story and expands it, right? In a way, this training is going to be my ethical bribe, right? This is a training that I can, number one, share it as a special private training, as that ethical bribe to say, hey, I would love to add value to you. Here's some of the biggest things that I teach. And because it's recorded once, but I can share it with many at no additional cost to me, it becomes an amazing ethical bribe. But it can also serve as a video book. I can take out the audio and it can serve as an audio book. And last but not least, I can take the transcription from this special private training. I can edit it and it can be actually a printed book. So by investing 1 to 2 hours of my time, or since we're talking about you creating your ethical bribe, you investing that hour or two of your time, sharing your big aha moments, sharing things that you know in your area of mastery, or maybe even putting together 10 people that can speak on those areas that you're interested in, recording those, that can be one of the most amazing ethical bribes that you can have, right? So, book being number one. Why is book so important? Number one, usually when people ask you what you do, you can also reply with, I am the author of fill in the blank, the book, the name of your book. Usually people say, wow, because not everybody has written a book, right? Many have thought about it, but very few actually go through the whole process of doing it. And if you do it in this simple process, and there's going to be a special private training uniquely taking you step by step through it, if you don't do it, it's on you. But the simple idea of it is creating a simple training, right? That talks about your core message, your core pillars, and then your core principles, which is these 9 principles that I'm talking about when it comes to networking, for example, in my area of expertise. You can be doing the same for health, for, let's say, social engagement, for saying yes to life. What are those 10 pivotal moments that I can look at and say, oh, wow, I know about this part, but I didn't know about that part. And what it does, what the book also creates, it creates know, like, and trust very quickly, especially if they're seeing you on video or they're listening to you, because when you're in their ears, you're very close to their brain, and it means you're getting a lot closer to their heart. It creates know, like, and trust first, very quickly, when you give them a ethical bribe like a book. Next, what it also does as part of the strategy, it shows them that you're an expert, that you know what you're talking about, and that you've taken action. If you have a printed book, that you've taken action that most are not willing to take by going ahead and publishing it and being a published author, and maybe even a award-winning published author, right? If you submit your book to some organizations, they may even give you awards for it, and that can be a title that you want to attach to, hey, this is my award-winning book that I want to share with you as my way of paying it forward, right? Usually it's on Amazon for $20, but because you're meeting me right now and I value our connection, let me give you a copy, right? Which builds that know, like, and trust, and also creates reciprocity, right? If you're able to give somebody something that otherwise they would have had to pay for, it's almost like they owe you something, whether they think about it or not. That's the nature of human beings, right? When you give them enough, or you add value enough to them, and then you come to them with an invitation or request, it's very hard for them to say no, because you've already added value to them. and the relationship. So that's the power of using a book as your ethical bribe. I have talked about number two, or part B, of creating an ethical bribe, and that's creating a special private training like this. Or in other ways, one of the things that I also do for one of my other brands, which is called W Income for Your Time, I will have a special private training that I only open up to people that are part of my special private community. And I talk about how to clarify your mission and vision, how to shift your mindset, and then last but not least, how to create or upgrade your mastermind. This is a teaching that I usually charge for, but I have those trainings about once a month, and I invite my special private guests to add value to them, to create breakthroughs for them. And then at the end of the training, I create an invitation to see if they want to be part of my community. If they don't, that's completely okay. I still added value. I still answered their questions as my way of paying it forward and creating that ethical bribe. And last but not least, I did mention it earlier, maybe got ahead of myself, but creating or sharing a community with them, like W Income for Your Time, private special community. Currently, it's hosted on Facebook, but it doesn't have to be. It can be hosted by different platforms. Maybe in time that you're seeing it, Facebook might not be existing anymore. Maybe a student of mine is sharing with you LinkedIn or Zoom, or whatever else distribution channel we're working with at that time. It's the strategy that matters. Bringing them into your group, into your community, that really will serve them, help them answer some of their questions without getting your time. And last but not least, will help them create the impact maybe that they want to create. Maybe they're able to create collaboration partners as a result of that group. And if you are part of what connected them to that collaboration, they will give you that relational capital value into your credit account. And then when you come to them with either an invitation or request, it will be taken completely from a different space of not an ask, but truly an invitation and a gift that they might want to be a part of because you've added value first.